All right, we are joined now by Renato Bustamante, but on the roster you're listed by just Renato. Is that your preference?
Yes, it is.
Can you explain how that works? Why it's just the one name and we don't need your last name?
Sure. I'm originally from Peru, and I grew up with a lot of influence from Brazilian football, Brazilian soccer, and a lot of their key players, a lot of their superstars, they went by one name, and it was mainly influence from their first name. Now, to apply it into my personal journey, I've always been called Renato. Whether it was Renato or Renato, it's still Renato. And I identify with Renato. I think that's, when I hear the name Renato, I think of myself and I can imagine what I've been through. Bustamante, I just associate it with school, maybe, doing the roll call. So I consider myself Renato.
I like that. Okay, we're going to stay with school, actually, because you just graduated at the beginning of the summer here from Fresno Pacific. Which it was how many years ago that was the last year you played at FPU?
2015.
Okay. Played for Jaime Ramirez, our guy. And you had just a couple of credits left when you stopped playing?
So when I finished in fall of 2015, I had one class left, which was biomechanics. From 2015 to 2019, they changed the curriculum and they added another class to my major, which is physical education.
Okay.
So then I unfortunately found out that I had to take two classes to graduate, and considering the pressure that I had from my family, you have to get it done. And internally I felt that weight of, you're so close, you've been working hard for so long, you got to get it done. So I set myself a challenge for the spring semester to take a class at Fresno State and one at FPU and finally get it done. And I'm very, very, very proud of myself for finally getting done, and had my family over for the graduation, and it was an amazing experience that I'll keep for the rest of my life.
That's awesome. Even 4 years ago, when you're like, did it seem crazy that you were going to leave like one class on the table there? Were you just very focused on your playing career?
I really wanted to play, and I'm already older than what I'm supposed to be. So I knew that I had to jump on the boat then to pursue my professional soccer career. With that being said, I also trust my instinct and my gut a lot. And I always felt that I had a chance, that I was going to have an opportunity and at the right moment to finish my school. And it was spring 2019.
Worked out. So physical education, you've been coaching for a couple of years now, well, more than a couple, at Clovis Community College. Like this fall will be your fourth season there, right?
Correct.
What's that experience been like?
Well, first of all, physical education in honor of my favorite class in elementary school. I remember I used to tell my family members when they would ask me, what's your favorite class? And I would say PE, and they're like, that's not a class.
Yeah.
You can't count that one. But time progressed, and the kid in me was right. That's what I actually enjoyed. To apply that to coaching, I think it's tremendous because the structure of the major is to design lesson plans, to be concise with your planning and your speaking, and to give good instruction, being aware of what the student needs, and making sure you're there for them. All that can be translated into coaching. And in regards to Clovis Community College, I had the opportunity given by Chad McCarty when the program first opened up in 2016, and I've been working with him ever since. And he's a extremely good professional with a very good background in the game, and he's given me a lot of confidence and knowledge for me to develop my own ideas.
And you feel like that's your career going forward, that you want to be a coach?
Without a doubt, that's the only thing I like to think about. That's the only thing I like to talk about. I'm usually in my room, whether it's reading or watching interviews or watching press conferences from coaches and discussing with people after training what was the right situation to address, or if you would have addressed it differently, how would have you done it? And I just feel it inside of me. Like I said, I trust my gut, and my gut tells me this is what I want to do.
I think the little bit that I know about you, that it's that as a coach that you would be, I don't know, interested in kind of not just exactly what we're doing on the field, but how we're eating, how we're training, like mental side of things, all this stuff. Am I right?
When I was in community college and back in Chicago, I used to want to be an anthropology major, cultural anthropology to be specific, which, you know, has to do with people, has to do with the way people behave. And I speak 3 languages with Portuguese, English, and Spanish, and that in itself allows me to connect with people from different cultures. And I'm a firm believer that when you can connect in a personal basis, you can get more out of the person, whether it's to perform on the field or for them to be more honest with you or for them to just, you know, be comfortable in their own setting.
Where do you think that interest came from, or where did that start?
I grew up in a very interesting situation in Peru where I was exposed to very different socioeconomic and cultural backgrounds, which as a kid was very confusing, transitioning from different social statuses. But as I got older, I realized that that experience in my youth allowed me to be able to relate to people independent of where they came from or what they did. And luckily my parents also blessed me with good education in regards of treating people the right way and not looking at them, but just, you know, letting them be themselves. And all that has paid dividends because now, today, I am very open and I can socialize with anybody.
What did you learn from Jaime as a coach?
So many things. I mean, Jaime is a very professional coach. Even though he coaches at Division II NCAA, the way he goes about his business is outstanding. I mean, if you last in a job for 25 plus years, it's because you're doing something right, and he's doing a lot of things right. The care that he has for the person outside of the field touched me in a certain way because the roster is very big, but he still finds a way to connect with every single student athlete in a personal basis and create a relationship that can go back and forth. And that attention off the field translates to his success on the field. So for him, that was one of the main things that I learned.
What have you learned from Adam Smith as a coach?
Adam Smith is a good planner. He knows what he wants. He's very convinced with his ideas. He communicates them very well, and he's all in. And that, it's almost like stubbornness to know what you want and know how you want to get it, and people have to be on board. Is a skill. It's a skill that is acquired through self-assurance and self-talk and just being convinced of what you want. And I watch him every day, and I'm taking notes.